Okay, so here we go with this one coming out like, I'm a victim, and him being a predator. Okay, so I'm going to tell you, by age 15, it's a little too late. So your conduct, it started way before somebody started touching you. I don't know who else, maybe somebody else touched you and you're not going on about it. There's something wrong with your parents for you to have this even happen and think it's normal. But let's go on with this whole thing. Drake Bell, because I covered him a long time ago, will detail abuse he suffered as a child star. Okay. So the former Nickelodeon actor is said to describe sexual abuse he experienced at the hands of a former dialogue coach, according to a new docuseries. So how come he gets one? He harms a bunch of people. He gets a whole like thing. Court documents detail the backstory. Jared Drake Bell, a former star of hit Nickelodeon series Drake and Josh, will speak publicly about abuse he suffered at the hands of a 41-year-old dialogue coach when he was 15. According to the network airing a new docuseries about a grimmer aspect of children's television, Mr. Bell, now 37, will describe his relationship with the dialogue coach, Brian Peck. It's always a Brian. It's always a Brian. Why is that? Stay away from all Brians. You'll be safe. Okay. Who pleaded no contest in 2004 to two felonies, oral copulation with a minor and lewd and lavish acts with a child. Mr. Peck was sentenced to 16 months in prison and registered as a sex offender in California, according to the state records. Before entering his pleas, he worked in children's television for years, including on hit Nickelodeon shows like All That. Mr. Bell could not be reached for comment in a trailer released by Investigation Discovery, which produced the docuseries coming out March 17th. Quiet on the Set, The Dark Side of Kids TV. It did not contain any details of his account, but a transcript of Mr. Peck's sentencing hearing 2004 quotes the victim, who is not identified, as saying, "I have to live with this for the rest of my life, and let me tell you, it's horrific." Attempts to reach Mr. Peck was also not successful. In the transcript, Mr. Peck said he felt deep and profound remorse for his actions and took responsibility for them. He said he found the victim to be extremely talented working professionals who he considered equal to me and my friends. In the court records reviewed by New York Times, prosecutors said Mr. Peck sexually abused the teenager over a period of 4 months, 2001 to 2. Now remember, my stuff came out in that year, right? Everybody was fine with it. That was the consensus in the public. They were fine with being touched and touching little kids. Mr. Peck was 41 and the victim identified as being 15-year-old. 15-year-old is old enough in some, states and everything else. Apparently raping kids is just the norm. Mr. Bell's mother and stepfather, Robin and Roy, appeared at the sentence hearing and said they badly wanted to help their son succeed in show business. They said they had been tricked into trusting Mr. Peck, who they thought could help ensure their son enjoyed a successful career. Mr. Peck said they had seduced their son and duped them as parents. Miss Dodson said Mr. Peck often urged her to keep her son away from his girlfriend. At other times, Mr. Dodson said Mr. Peck would wine and dine my son, introduce him to upscale restaurants and places where the rich go. Wine and dine? Is he 15? He's whining? Okay. At the hearing, Mr. Bell, then 18, described not wanting to be alone at night. The things that he did to me, Mr. Bell said of Mr. Peck, I don't think anyone in here could have ever possibly imagined. I just want to say that parents totally are guilty in this case here as well for this ignorance of, men are safe with other boys. Whatever he gets, Mr. Bell added, he doesn't have to live with the knowledge of a 41-year-old man all over him for the rest of his life. Mr. Bell, so if it was so bad for him, why is he all over other minors, okay? So a lot of us were touched, okay? We didn't all turn into mega pedo rapists. So maybe that's a small portion of the population, but these men right here, he has a problem long before 15, okay? I'm just making that clear because he may try to use that as the excuse why he did it. Everybody has been getting touched. But the excuse for him to go out and perpetrate on other kids because of this is bullshit. Wherever he gets Mr. Bell added, he doesn't have to live with the knowledge of that. Okay, so Mr. Bell began his career as a child actor with his breakthrough performance in The Amanda Show, a live-action sketch comedy and variety show created by Dan, who also people are accusing of, you know what. The show starred Amanda Bynes, right? She has some mental health issues. I don't know if it is stemmed off of all of this nonsense. I'm not really clear on that yet because we know that a lot of mental illnesses are actually coming out of child abuse and stuff. Drake and Josh, the show for which he is best known, was also created by Mr. Snyder and aired for 4 seasons on Nickelodeon from 2004 207. Mr. Bell played one of half a pair of stepbrothers who lived together despite having opposite personalities. In the years since, Mr. Bell has started a music career and toured in support of several albums. He had his own run-in with the law in 2001 and sentenced to 2 years probation after pleading guilty to 2 charges against him relating to a girl he met online who attended one of his concerts in Cleveland in 2017. He pleaded guilty to attempted child endangerment, a felony, and decimating material harmful to children, a misdemeanor. Your Honor, I just want to say today I accept this plea because my conduct was wrong. Okay, I'm sorry that the victim is harmed in any way, and that was obviously not my intention. I've taken this matter very, very seriously, and again, I want to apologize to her, anyone else who may have been affected by my actions. Okay, so are you really taking full responsibility? Because a lot of these men are not. They may say some stuff like this, but in reality, they have a blame. They blame the victim for their conduct. They do. At the 2004 sentencing hearing for Mr. Peck, and Andrea Thompson, a deputy district attorney, emphasized to the court that the victim would be the one who has to live with the effects of the defendant's crimes for the rest of his life. The psychological and emotional damage the defendant has likely done is immense, long-standing, and much of it may be unknown for many years. Yeah, so tell me again, why did you go perpetrate on somebody if it was so terrible for you, or whatever it wasn't terrible for you? This is the question with this thing, and I think that's what's differentiating a lot of us from others, because when they're being abused, they enjoyed the abuse, and actually Oprah was pointing something out about that. And at the time, you know, it effed with her head. And for me, when things were happening, I did not enjoy the abuse. And so that's, it's happening to children, but it's not the 15-year-old. I am telling you right now, his conduct of doing what he did is something else prior to 15. And then he got abused, which isn't it's a typical thing for all of us to be getting abused by somebody, as you're going to see in everybody's story. But his conduct to go prey on females and others has nothing to do with this 15-year-old act right here. None. It's like an addition, but that ain't it.